Just by letting go of these taboos and not being so scared of who you become when you let go of your attachments, and who your partner becomes when they let go of their attachments, or who your children become when they let go of their attachment to you and your rules and your agreements with them, then the whole family unit can breathe and actually congeal together powerfully if that is relevant, if there is a compatibility there. I believe in the power of families, but the way that we have placed so much attachment on this is very limiting, and it cannot really breathe. And a lot of people who are beginning to act on their calling and their mission, who want a change in their life and who want more freedom of expression and so on, they at some point can kind of bump into their family life or their agreements with their family. This can be your sort of intimate family and kids, but it can also be your brothers, sisters, mother, father, and so on. So yeah, there is a lot of tightness around it for a lot of people, fear for letting it go and so on. But I think that just by letting go of these taboos and not being so scared of who you become when you let go of your attachments, and who your partner becomes when they let go of their attachments, or who your children become when they let go of their attachment to you and your rules and your agreements with them, then the whole family unit can breathe and actually congeal together powerfully if that is relevant, if there is a compatibility there. But often, one or more people in the family are more free in that regard than others, or are becoming more free in that regard than others, and then the ones that are clinging are kind of pushing away the ones that want greater freedom, and you get all these sort of nuances and then judgments around it and guilt around it. So it's a great topic. It's a bit too much for me to discuss in full on this talk, but I'll try to at least answer your question by painting a bit of a picture of what healthy non-attachment to family can look like. The thing is, it can look like anything, because it also depends on how your family members respond to your chosen freedom from attachment. Not that you have to make some kind of a dramatic declaration, like from this day onward, I am free of you. You know, it can be a gradual, subtler, more skillful understanding. I think I did something like that towards my parents when I was 18 and ready to go to India, seeking enlightenment. Or maybe I was younger, 16 or something. I think 18, because that age validated my freedom, right? I think I said something like, just want you guys to know that from this day onwards, you're no longer my parents. Got that? Okay, clear. I'm going to go to India for a while, and love you guys. Appreciate it. See you later. But that is, in a sense, that is a more organic, natural thing to do for a child, a teenager that's leaving the nest, right? So in that sense, it's organic and understandable and even skillful, perhaps, and appropriate. But in most cases, like as an adult with duties and responsibilities to care for other people, and if you have children, and if you have a partner, and so on, then obviously, in most situations, you'll want to handle that more gradually, with more communication and transition time. But what can it look like? Ideally, it looks like you just being in your freedom. You being absolutely authentic. You being relaxed in your essence, in confidence, in conviction of the natural state. And whatever the natural state informs you to do or be or to go or to communicate, it will do that, and it will do it intelligently. If you don't get in the way of that with your fears and restrictions and projections and expectations and attachments, if you let everything be as it is, the whole appearance of your whole entire family, the appearance of the kids needing you, the appearance of your partner emotionally needing you or thinking they need you, the appearance of your own attachments to your kids and to your partner or to your parents or whatever it might be, sister, brother. If you just let that be, then you realize, well, nothing actually needs to change per se. It might change physically, circumstantially, but it doesn't have to change in order for me to be me. So why not start with you being fully you? Okay, and I need to nuance this a little bit. By that, I don't mean that you go, I've suppressed myself around my family for 40 years. Now it's time to see the real me. And they see me sing, and they see me dance, and they see me paint, and they see me give flowers, and they see me do this, and yeah, you can do that. But, good luck attaining the highest image of harmony with your family if you become an eccentric response to your former self. Kind of unconsciously blaming them for your self-oppression and then letting it out in this sort of over-the-top way. So that's not my suggestion when I say, just be yourself. You can take it that way if you want, but that's not my instruction. My suggestion is that you chill the fuck out. Be around your family and chill out. Sit on the couch, look around, be present. Don't be who they want you to be, but also don't be the opposite of that on purpose. Just be. Let the social awkwardness live in their corner, not yours. I'll clarify that a little bit. If you start sitting in the corner of your sofa, your family present, or you're at a family party, and you suddenly chill the fuck out, and you're no longer who they know you to be, or who they maybe think you are, or who they expect you to be, you're suddenly chill. You're gonna get questions. A popular one is, are you okay? Another one is, are you high? Another one is, do you want to drink? But let the discomfort be in their corner, okay? Now you can ameliorate it a little bit, you can compensate for it a little bit, but don't lose yourself again in the image, recreating the old image where you don't feel natural anymore. So you be yourself, whatever that shows up as. You be open and intelligent, you be compassionate and free and just present, and see where the chips fall. But if you consistently chill the fuck out around your family, they will then be lovingly forced to create a new image of you. And you got to give them the time to create that new image. You got to understand that that's a process for them. Okay? Now, this doesn't mean you have to say to your brother, you're no longer my brother. Doesn't mean you have to say to your mother, you're no longer my mother. Doesn't mean you have to say to your child, I'm no longer your mother or your father. It doesn't mean anything radical. It just means you are yourself and you give them the time to adapt to that. Now then, if they don't get it after several years or whatever, yes, you can press the issue a little bit. You can clarify that you don't like the way they're interacting with you. They don't like the way that they're expecting you to be. And that's no longer, you feel that's no longer who you are. And you would prefer them to not see you as your sister, but as an equal being, or to not see you as your little brother, or to not see you as their son or daughter, or mother or father, but as an equal human being. And just to relate to you as you are, you can open that dialogue. You have the right to do that. But let the discomfort be in their corner, meaning don't become what they need you to become. This can be done gradually, it can be done skillfully, it can be done with empathy and compassion. Now, the very energetic shift that you would be embodying will then rewire the family dynamics. And naturally, when you're being fully yourself, which means, again, not to be necessarily crazy or eccentric or outgoing, it just means you're relaxed. To be yourself means you're rested. You're in relief all the time. You're in relief from your own expectations, naturally all the time, spontaneously present in the moment. If you can yourself endure that, if that's not uncomfortable for you, if that is your comfort zone now, if that becomes your authentic home, then the energetics will naturally reinform the family dynamics, and it will naturally make you less and less attached to the family dynamics and the people in it. So let the magic do its own work as much as possible. Don't try to make too big of a deal out of it. Don't be too eccentric about it. Just be natural, relax, and let the intelligence that you're naturally tapping into and that you will exude through your aura more and more by simply chilling out, chilling in presence, chilling in awareness, chilling in naturalness, chilling in freedom, chilling in expectation-free, undistracted, stainless lucidity. Just being present will do the work for you, for the most part. Now, they still have free will in terms of how do they want to respond to that. Do they want to panic about that? Do they want to come up with a crazy story about that? But let that be in their corner. That's not your responsibility. The oppression that you've allowed your family to have on you, which is your own choice, not theirs, is exactly by that. You're playing into their expectations of who you are. You continue to play that same role, and it starts to feel suffocating. And you want to break free from it. But how do you do that? Do you push away your family and then you go somewhere else? Sometimes that can be the highest approach. But usually, if you do it in a balanced way, it will reinform the family dynamics. And most people will be open to this shift and this change if they truly love you. And if they don't, then they don't truly love you. And that's okay. Then they're not ready to truly love you. They are more attached to their personality and their ways and their insistence and their righteousness. At which point it's perfectly fine to chuckle, maybe with a little tear in your eye for past sake, but then to move on and to find a more harmonious path for you. You still don't have to do this in a dramatic, eccentric way. You can be passionate occasionally. You can have some, heated dialogues if necessary. If it gets to that, it's fine. But overall, chill out. You just be you and let the natural presence give them a new image of you. Allow them to respond to that and digest that however they choose to. If necessary, you can clarify with words. If they ask you, why is our relationship different? You can clarify from your point of view to the best of your ability. And so you just reinform your relationships like that. Now, ideally, people love it. They love how relaxed you finally are. They love how they can just be themselves around you because you're being yourself around them. And so on and so forth. And it increases the harmony and the unity and the trustworthiness and the strength of the family unit, while at the same time allowing it to blossom out into the world without the rigidity of these silos of this is my family and my neighbors are their family and they're their family. And we can become a more unified people and see that we're actually one big family. Your neighbor is as much your family as is your mother or father. It does not freaking matter. These are artificial, diluted, stinky little lines that we draw in the sand that don't exist, and God is like... And there we go, creating drama and problems where there are none, division where there is none. Love your neighbor as thyself. Love your neighbor as you love your father. See your father in your neighbor. If the whole family understands this, wow, that's a powerful family right there. It's free, it breathes out into the unity of all things, and yet it is strong within its individuality as well, and the support for its units because it's just relevant. You know each other, you support each other, you're financially sharing things, maybe you live close by or together. So it makes sense that you're strong together as a unity individually. But then also there's this great openness to explore your dreams, your guidance, your mission, your calling, to share with others in the world, to love others as you love your family members. So that would be sort of ideal case scenario. Doesn't always happen that way, and that's fine. You got to be okay with that too. What's the most important thing in all this is that you are yourself, and you free yourself of artificial lines drawn in the sand. You free yourself from these attachments. And you do not have to fear, I guarantee you this, non-attachment only leads to more care, more love, more commitment, and more empathy. It doesn't lead to abandonment. It doesn't lead to carelessness.